Wes may be having some technical difficulties. Yep, he's having technical difficulties, so we'll get him back on here. Welcome to the Sand Shark Rewind. I am Mad Max Arraj. I'm here with Wes Kerr. Wes, tough day to end the season for USCB baseball. It's just a tough break, but what a great hard fought series it was for USCB.
There we go.
Hey, what's up, man? I did the intro for you. Don't worry.
Hey.
Wes, like I was saying, dude, USCB, tough way to finish off the season, but what a hard fought series it was against USC Aiken, and what a way to go out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just what tremendous effort, in that series from what they're able to accomplish. It coming down to the final pitch of the series. They were able to win 1 of 2 on Saturday to set the finale on Sunday. I mean, just an incredible effort from this team, and they had to win on that last game a week ago on the walk-off, the 5-run ninth inning to get here, and just playing an incredible last couple of games and heck of an effort there to, push this to the very end. And just got to be very proud of what this team accomplished. And you just put in big picture perspective, this is a team that is finding its way into this new Peach Belt Division II conference, and to be competing right to the very end and to show just so much mental toughness throughout is something to be really proud of as you look back at this season.
Yeah, final score today, USC Aiken takes USCB 5-3. Like you said, came down to the very end of that game too. Bases loaded twice, I believe, 2 straight innings. Bases were loaded, and just couldn't get the job done today. But I really liked the way they played. I was hoping for that the entire series, and they played really well. First game they're down 12-5, and they fought their way back to make it a 3-run game. Obviously, it dropped the first game. The second game got to a hot start, get out 5-0, and held the win from there, going to game 3, where it all came down to the very, very last pitch. So I really liked the way they finished off the season. It was hard fought. You'd hope they could make the playoffs, but that's okay. There's next season, and I have a lot of high hopes after what I saw this weekend. Brackin, what about you, man?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Internet, a little internet fumble to get going. I don't know what just happened. Yeah, no, it was it's a tough one, especially after a great game that B-Mart pitched yesterday to get you into that position. We've said it all season. It's going to be a tough road, and this season was definitely tougher than most, just because of the strength of schedule. And there's no gimmies. There's you could say there's one with Claflin, but if you look at the season that we had as a whole, there was not any weekday series that we were like, we'll pencil in a win here. Even though we hadn't played Edward Waters in a long time, they're not a bad team, and they're getting better every year. So that one you kind of say maybe, but you're playing teams like St. Leo and Rollins and North Greenville. North Greenville opens up down here, and they're the perennial #1 team in the country right now. So I think that a 13-31 record definitely doesn't look good on paper, but overall you look at a couple of those wins that are going to be kind of staples in this transition period. And it's really just going to come down to some arms and getting somebody who can, pop that 3-run homer when you need it, a bloop and a blast, and get you going. I bet you there's a little bit of disappointment right there. I don't know if you guys watched the end of the game, but you could kind of definitely see the amount of emotion that was on those guys. As even though there was a wide feed, I can imagine what they were feeling, especially after having an opportunity. And but you can say about a lot of games this year is leaving runners on base, and if you leave 6 runners on base, That's tough, especially when you get some hard fought base runners there late in the game.
Yep.
But I mean, hats off to this team. I'm excited for the future. And now that we know we're not having to second guess and say, hey, are we going to be able to make playoffs or anything like that? It's going to come down to, what arms we can get maybe out of the portal, out of the JUCO transfer portal, and really build this up. I know Coach Faulkner is already working on that. He'll probably sulk in this one just a little bit. But the future is strong. You've got a lot of guys who they didn't necessarily redshirt, but they just didn't get a lot of playing time because they didn't play at all. Who I'm looking forward to, Aaron Bitton being one of them, a catching prospect who can kind of take over for TK. At right now, you pencil in a dual spot there with Nico and Mac at first base. Seth can man second. Jake Tanner and Hudson Morgan split a little bit of time they're short. You get Carson Phillips back, and hopefully you might end up seeing him back in the outfield again just because Julian Galassi's gone.
Yep.
Carson Weathers, Hunter Miller there in the outfield, the corner outfield spots, and then you got another year of Sebastian Biggs. Pencil him at first base too. He transitioned from third to first mid-year. But I like this. I like these guys. They're young, they're eager, and it's going to be a good time. And hopefully, what happens is you get a couple of power arms or something like that. A guy who can throw your low 90s, who can get your 1A, 1B, and go from there. But it's going to be another tough schedule next year. I've already seen little bits and pieces of it, and there's no cupcakes, man. It's going to be a tough season again. But when you get out there and you really put together a strong schedule and how you face up against the best teams in the country, so it's going to be a fun off season, and we'll see everybody out there in Hardyville in February.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
A lot of potential. No, as you said, a lot of potential with this team, and the way they battled down the stretch was huge. And I think it really, sets you in the right mindset for what's to come. And I think, the building blocks that we have in place, I think is going to help really, inspire that next coming group, not just this year, but the years in the future, to continue to really bulk up the lineup. And, as we continue on to move forward with this program, and, just to find the missing pieces that we need to really build a contending squad, because I think we're close. We just need to, a little bit more maybe pop in the bats from what we've seen. But, you mentioned some of the guys that are returning, and you have a couple of tremendous, hardworking players who will be back. And I'm just excited to see how everything fits together. And Ted Faulkner's done an awesome job so far through 4 years. And, and I think the best quality is just how his teams continue to battle and fight. We saw that in that first year in the Sun Conference where they moved to the Peach Belt. And these guys really play for each other and enjoy the process of what it takes to build a winning squad out there. So I'm super excited to just picture the future of what this program can bring. And it's fun, you're to see what they're doing just in this very early period of their time, and the potential that we could see in the future after we saw them go up against toe-to-toe against some of the best teams and take a few of them down this year at home, and then battle to the very last pitch this year. So I'm very excited to see what comes of the squad, and there's a lot to really be happy about with what this team produced. And now it's just, can you plug a few holes defensively and at the plate, and continue to build on. Obviously, lose a couple key guys pitching wise, but there'll still be some key guys back that are going to really help anchor. And you just look at some other guys injury wise, like Ian Barnes. That was a tough loss to see him have to cut his season short, because he had a heck of a start and was that go-to guy closing and a good reliever as well. So yeah, it's, a couple guys to really, in terms of replace. That's whenever you lose 11 seniors, that's you're gonna you have to have some holes to fill. But every team has holes to fill. Every team graduates seniors. So, can these young guys come in and perform?
Yeah, and the more that you come out here and you show everything that's going to happen, the Peach Belt knows that we're not far away. Make it through next year, make it through provisional year 3, barring anything that changes this summer. There's no indication right now that we won't make it into year 3. So let's just continue making it up, making this year the best we can, and they're gonna it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be good on all sides, on both every team, baseball, softball, golf. Every spring sport's gonna get better. Every fall sport, winter sport's gonna get better. But it's gonna be a lot of fun as we make that full transition and we make that. I'm looking forward to the 25-26. I know that's we're looking way ahead, but 25-26 is gonna be a lot of fun. Not saying that we're gonna go and win a natty or anything that first year, but that would be, the fact that you can compete for it, and a lot of I think a lot of the players have kind of bought into that. Hey, we may not be able to go for a national championship, but we can go for a conference championship for sure. And that was not something prior to this past summer was even on the docket. It was made in July that the Peach Belt made the announcement that provisional teams could make a postseason run, because that does hurt your recruiting. For 3 years you're stuck. So at least last year, we got to compete for a possibility of an NAIA title, and then this year we've kind of had to settle for a Peach Belt championship. But you've come out there and you've done really well and done really big things. So it's going to be I imagine next year is going to still be a growing year. In terms of record for baseball, they gained a win. Last year was 12. This year was 13. Is that ever ideal? No, but you want to get better. And hey, everybody says if you get one game better, you're doing okay. So, it's overall, you definitely wanted to have kind of the growth that you had like with softball, where they only finished 5 games under 500. But again, it's a tough game, and it's a great conference. You come in and you took one, you walked off the new champion with Lander. So it took them 10 years to win a Peach Belt regular season title. So who says we can't do it next year? Just about who gets hot. It's going to be a great year. And I look forward to seeing what Ted and Zach and Brian and Mike come up with this offseason. Same thing with Cody and Allison on softball. But we'll put a stamp on the 2024 baseball season with that. But season's not over, boys. Year's not over yet. We got 2 more days of Sand Shark athletics, and that's going to be our track and field team down in Daytona Beach at Embry-Riddle. So we see our producer JJ getting excited down there for something. He must be watching some Cubs baseball. That's what he's watching.
Cubs. It's definitely Cubs baseball.
Hopefully it fares better than it did the other day. You don't want to go but up.
Yep. Well, I'll give you guys a little note that I just read prior to us getting on, but after this. But we start tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., the 10,000 meter race. Sydney Stevenson going to get us started at 7 a.m. So that's it. I think the jumps follow. So 25 laps around the track, that kind of scares me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, 25 laps. Let's be honest, 1 lap terrifies me on a track. I hate it. But it's going to be, and we've got a really good chance with a couple of them. Coach Harris is really looking forward to the the hurdles with Leasia Ford. She's really excited for that one, where Lee's got a chance to medal. Cam Edwards in both the long and triple jump. He has been Mr. Consistent throughout. A little bit more competition than the kid that he had to face in the indoor season, but that's an exciting matchup. And then also Michael Martello, local product. He's got a real good chance to win the hammer, and he's also got a real good chance to podium in the discus. That's kind of where he's starting. So yeah, it's going to be a long day for them. So we'll make sure.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any. I guess the Athletic Live is how they'll do live scoring, but there won't be any live feed out of Daytona. Unless JJ has some connections down at Embry-Riddle and can tell them, hey, give us some live feed. They've always had a really good athletic communications department down there. So
yeah, exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun week, and then but yeah, guys, I think that's it's going to be a short show this week, just because we only have a little bit going on. So I know we didn't talk too much last week. We talked on the lowdown, but congratulations to both. All right, so he's got the outdoor schedule up. The 10,000 meter starts, and then you got the decathlon. Okay, hold on. I'm still learning all outdoor track. I learned indoor track, but not outdoor. All right, so I think that we have Michael Johnson, who's going to compete in the 100 meters, and Leasia is going to in the 100 meter hurdles. Cam will compete in the long and high, or okay, that's women's. My bad. So, all right, here's the schedule. Here's the schedule, guys.
Oh man.
I know it starts at 7 a.m. Let's just get that. So
that's all we need to know. It's all good.
Yeah, we'll be keeping.
Just offering a visual aid. Just a visual aid.
There he is.
Thank you, man.
So, but it's gonna be a full day. And the good thing is they've been down there before. They competed at the Spikes Classic earlier this season. So, we'll see how it goes, and we'll just keep you guys updated, and then I'll hop on tomorrow night with the lowdown and give a little update, and then I'll do it on the road on Tuesday, because the SID gets to take a little vacation. So we're gonna be out, but then we'll it's much needed, and JJ knows that full and well that we all need a little bit of a vacation. So we'll take another week break after this, but then I think it's Sunday. Let me pull up my calendar. I got it up right here. Today is the 28th, so it'll be May 12th. Oh, that's Mother's Day. We'll find a quick one. JJ's got to take care of Megan on that one, so we'll find a day, and we'll do one final season, one final episode of the first season of the Rewind, and kind of pull everything together, and then we can because we started middle of the soccer season and then rolled all the way through. So, but all right, guys, last thoughts. Max, you want to get us started?
Yeah. What a great season. First season for me doing the broadcasts alongside you and Wes. I've had so much fun, and I cannot wait to do it next season. One note, Brandon Martin, man, you pitched lights out. I got to watch that game last night, and oh my gosh, that was one of the best games I've seen him put together this season, and a much needed game. So, boys, you fought, man, and I couldn't be prouder to watch you guys play the way you did this past weekend, and I cannot wait for next season to begin, man. We're a few months out from it, but I'm excited already for the next season of baseball and softball, man.
Tremendous performance, and in a do or die game, and you go to your guy Brandon Martin, and he has a task for him. I mean, he has to produce and give his team a chance, and everything he could have asked, he did in that game, and gave him a chance to play for that last spot on Sunday, and good shout out to Josh Patterson. 4 innings of really strong work. To keep the Sand Sharks in striking distance. Picked up a couple Ks, just 4 hits, 2 runs, did not walk anybody. And Julian Galassi drove in a pair of runs, really nice points from him. And these guys really battled there. Brian Meyer in his final game picked up a pair of hits, a walk as well. What a career that he has had with these Sand Sharks. And that is someone that you just, it hurts to lose him, but he has left a huge mark on the direction of this program, and first ever Gold Glove. I mean, that you can't take away from him. He has been an incredible piece of how this program has been able to grow during this time and make this transition. It takes guys like that, and Brian Meyer was at the forefront.
Yeah, Brian's had a great career. But also, real quick, we did have our graduation ceremony. So we had over 30, or we had 30
Awesome.
graduating seniors. And
Congratulations.
JJ, if you pull up our Instagram, there's a little video that we took and we can use that as our send off. So my final accolade is going to be to the class of 2024. These kids were tremendous all year long, and I say kids, they're young adults.
Yep.
But so for the final send off of the regular Sand Shark Rewind, here's the class of 2024. So great way to end here, and congratulations to the class of 2024. They're the reason why we do what we do, and I can't thank them enough for what this year has meant for all of us. So, all right, guys. Well, that's it. That's gonna be this episode of the Sand Shark Rewind, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks for the final season wrap up, and we'll just wrap everything up, the entire great year that we've had here at USCB. So for Max Arraj, Wes Kerr, I'm Brackin Lambert signing off. Make sure you always keep them fins up.